Believable, my lovely, wonderful people. Our brother Babatunde Gbadamosi writes to US Obidients, especially attorneys and those in law enforcement, over 2023 presidential gubernatorial election that has taken place in Nigeria. The election is done and dusted, but it does not seem very much like that. It feels very much like there is still more, okay, going on with this election, and everybody's wondering. So this is exactly what is going on now. Our brother Obafemi has written to the US, and he has some very serious reservation. He's unhappy with the way some things are, and he just wants to get it off his chest, and just, get an opinion and something really different. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like us, share, subscribe. Let's get all the details. Babatunde Gbadamosi writes to US Obidients, especially attorneys and those in law enforcement. Babatunde Gbadamosi, who contested the party's nomination to run as a candidate of the governor of Lagos State in 2011 and again in 2013, 2011, 2015, has made a tweet on his official Twitter handle about some hours ago, writing to the US Obidients and some bodies in the United States. Yes, the Nigerian businessman, in the statement he released, wrote, US Obidients, especially attorneys and those in law enforcement, as well as correction services across the US. This is for you. A certain Connie somebody was jailed in the US at least once, most likely under a different name from the one he uses now. US Obidients, especially attorneys and those in law enforcement, as well as correction services across the US. This is for you. A certain Connie somebody was apparently jailed in the US at least once, most likely under a different name from the one he uses now. Man arrives in the US since sometimes between 1969 and 1972, and ended up in jail sometimes between 1975 and 1982. A senior lawyer once apparently even had a picture of him in prison jumpers. Look into it, please, and let's end this force once and for all. He continued. Man arrived in the US sometime between 1969 and 1972 and winded up in jail sometimes between 1975 and 1982. A late senior lawyer once apparently even had a picture of him in prison suit. Look into it, please. Let's do it and end all this once and for all. So if you look at Babajide's face very well, he did not say anybody. He did not call anybody's name. He's in the US, by the way. But with everything that is happening, Babajide is saying there is somebody. He just gave what we call clues and indications pointing to the fact that somebody came to the US, and is telling all Obidients that everybody should be watchful, that there is this certain somebody came to the US between this time and this time. He is a very corny person. He ended up in jail between this time and this time. He was in jail. He said there's even a US senior lawyer that has a picture of him in that very jail suit. Yes, he says so. Obidients, he was not talking to US attorneys as those in prison correction centers, that they should look into it. They should go back into the archives. When you go to when people who do anything wrong go to prison, then they will take a picture of you where you go turn around. You go they'll measure your height. They'll call look at you turn to your left or to your right. They'll take your picture, your side view, left and right. Things like that. I said they will do all these things so they have the picture of that certain individual. Yes, they say all those things are already there. So this very certain individual knows what he's doing, or you apparently know what he has done. He says, so this very person we are talking about, has done these things, and is working at it. He says, so obedience should look at it, that they should pay attention and look at it very critically. He said this person was in the US for between this period of time and did certain things. He said, so there is a matter really seriously on, and that, obedience and the US, security agencies should should pay great attention and watch these things very carefully. Yes, and watch these things very carefully. Said because what is going on now is that such an individual wants to get into a prominent. He did not quite what all these things we're saying now. He's just giving indications. He did not quite hit the nail on the head. He says such an individual is about to enter a very prominent position in Nigeria, and with what he's suggesting that should be looked into, if it is really looked into and they come up with possibilities, such an individual will not get to that position, and so he does not want Nigeria to suffer loss in the hands of those who may be fraudulent and who may not be the right leader for the country, for the nation, and says it is high time, Nigerians understand that, there is serious call for concern. So this is what is happening. Okay, so this is what is going on, and every single person, we're all watching carefully. Anyway, my lovely, wonderful people, you can see for yourself that, what's going on right now, it's very clear. Okay, it's very clear that, unless Nigerians begin to rise up and ensure that nobody takes over that which belongs to them, he said this very certain individual, according to him, have some things already, and that obedience should be patient. They should look into it, Okay, they should look into it very carefully. He said this person was once in the US and he did some things that were not right. Okay, so this is what is happening. This is what is going on. Okay, so my wonderful people, you can see for yourself that things are beginning to, emerge, and every single one of us must understand what's going on. Every single one of us must understand it. So these are some of the things happening right now. Anyway, my lovely, wonderful people, can you see that indeed, truly, sincerely speaking, we all need to move forward and make sure that things are set in place properly, decently, and in order. Anyway, my lovely people, now so the matter they hit us. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like us, share, subscribe. God bless. Bye for now.